Welcome back, everybody. We're going to try this little short video. I've decided to make a little short flight down at Prime Hook Beach, and it kind of gives you an idea of how the place is laid out. It's pretty much surrounded by water, and you'll see that pretty much when we get up high enough where I can show you. But this is just the beach area. It's a private beach. By the way, there is water on both sides of this beach too, and it's only probably about 2,000 yards across. So when I pan back around, you'll see the northern section of Prime Hook, and they've got some fairly nice homes built down here. But I'm not sure I'd want to be living in this area when they have the storms come in. Water level is quite high. Right now it's low tide, but you can kind of see where the water level comes to up on the beach. This is kind of the northern section of the peninsula, and it goes for a long way. There used to be another entrance down the far end, as far back as you can see there, but that has since been washed out and they have not repaired that. So there's pretty much only one way in and one way out. And when the water gets high, a lot of people get stranded in this area, but I guess they survive it pretty well. I don't know of anybody that has decided not to survive down there. They enjoy the place. Now, way back out in the back, there's a barge sitting out there. He was actually working that day, and I didn't go out far enough to see it, but I think he was pumping sand back into the dike area, trying to close off that dike area. Not for sure if that's the case or not, but most likely. Now this is to the west, the south side of the beach, and again you see it's a very narrow strip that runs down through there. There's pretty much one way in, one way out, like I said, and I'll be getting to that now. But you can see the water on both sides of the beach, and the houses in the middle. And I think the sea level probably is around about 3 feet, if we're lucky. This is a shot of the road coming into Prime Hook. That little road you see all the way back out toward the sunset is the location of the road you would come in on. As a matter of fact, we drove in on it just to get down there, and the water level there is probably about a foot off the road. So we were hoping to get a nice sunset that afternoon, but it didn't quite happen. It's pretty, but it never got the colors I expected to have with the cloud layer we had. But I kind of concentrated on this area quite a bit because I wanted to see how that sun actually did work, and give you an idea how much water is back there. That water goes back probably about a couple of miles, I guess, on back through there, and you get more land as you go, but then you see the mainland back in the back there. It's in the Prime Hook area. I think this water was not in here years ago. I may be wrong on that, but I'm thinking that when the dikes broke, that flooded this whole area, and it's been flooded ever since. As you travel down this road, there's a lot of trees on the side of the road that got flooded out by the salt water, and it pretty much killed all the trees in that area. So it's a pretty desolate looking place when you go down through there, thinking it should be kind of lush, pretty, and green and all that because of all the water, but salt water is not good for trees. I can tell you that up front. And this is kind of going around and looking back toward the western, northwestern side of the peninsula. Again, you can see water pretty much everywhere they are. Water everywhere, but not a drop to drink, as they would say. And in this case, I would imagine the water is not coming from wells in this area. With salt water on both sides of the peninsula, I very seriously doubt they'd be able to get fresh water anywhere on the ground. So It was kind of a foggy day that day, and we had some light clouds. Very nice, very warm day for that time of the year, December. Wow. Uh, I can't remember ever having to go out in December and cutting grass in December here in Delaware, but this year I did. It had been growing and needed cutting, so I cut it last week, as a matter of fact. Now this weekend we're probably going to suffer for it because they say the temperature is going to drop and we'll get a pretty hard freeze. But again, by Christmas we're going to be back up into the upper to mid upper 60s. So they say it's definitely going to be a white Christmas, no doubt about that. Now I've gone up a little higher and you can actually see the peninsula a whole lot better in this area. That is nothing but houses all the way down through there about as far as you can see. Kind of neat, and like I say, some of the houses are quite nice, quite expensive. I looked at a few prices on houses, but I won't quote them on here because don't think that's an appropriate place to put it. But you can see me on that road right there in the bottom center of the picture. That's where I'm located at, taking a picture. Now I'm going up a little higher so I can take a few more looks at this place. Like I say, I only made a short flight there. I didn't want to make it too long for reasons of I didn't want to interfere with people's lives down there. Nobody bothered me, but I tried to stay away from flying over anybody's property or house. I did turn around and fly out over the water here in a few minutes, and you'll see that when I turn around. But first time I flew over water with the Phantom 3. Kind of a neat aircraft, very stable. It gives me 1080 or 4K video. It's an awesome thing to play with, I can tell you that. Again, I'm at 393 feet here. That's staying under my FAA limits, and as I understand it, we will have to start registering our drones starting on Monday. So I plan on doing that. I don't have any reason not to, but I think these things are neat pieces of equipment that can give you a lot of view of things you couldn't see from the ground level. So again, we're back to the sunset again. I was really concentrating on that sunset, hoping that we would get some real bright colors, but it just didn't show up. I mean, it's pretty, but I've seen a lot better. This whole road coming in, like I said, is about 2.5 miles probably. In a bad weather situation with a lot of heavy winds, the water definitely gets over the road. There's absolutely no doubt about that. They've got places they're working on it. Now I'm turning around here and getting ready to fly out toward that barge a little bit. I wanted to see if I could get a little closer view, but it was a little farther out than I wanted to venture over water. You know, if these things drop over water, it's pretty much a lost cause. So I decided not to fly over water much more than what I did. Kind of a gray day. You really can't make out sky and water anymore at that point in time because of the foggy, cloudy day it was. I imagine on a real sunshiny day, that'd be a beautiful place. It really would. Again, we're at low tide. You see a lot of the sandbars out here in the water as you go through, and I imagine even where the barge is at, it's probably not over about 7 or 8 feet of water. The entire bay, there are places in the bay that get 50, 60, 80 feet deep, but that's in the shipping channels only. Most of the other places within 20 to 30 feet. If that. I know a lot of boats go out in these bays and they get sand locked. They think they're in deep water, and all of a sudden they hit a sandbar and they're not in deep water anymore. So we got to be real careful when you run the Delaware Bay. But kind of a neat place. Don't know much of the history of it other than most of this was all marshland at one time, I guess. And they had a lot of farmers working in this area, and they developed this peninsula. Um, if you want to know more of the history, I guess you probably have to go look it up. But we're coming down to where I'm getting close to the end here, so I'll kind of hush up and let you watch what's going on. I'm also using a new editing software. This is Sony um, Movie Maker Studio Platinum 13. Kind of a strange character for me to use. I'm not good at editing yet, so bear with me if I make mistakes. It will be better as I learn. First video out, we'll see how it works. So now I'm getting ready to come down. I think that I decided it was, getting late enough to where I don't get a good video of the sunset, so I decided I had to go ahead and bring it down. Probably battery was getting low on me too, so with that, guys, you all have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed the little short video. Again, if you really want to know more of the history of Prime Hook, go look it up on the internet. I'm sure you'll find a lot of stuff about it. So with that, you guys have a fine day, and I will talk at you later. Bye-bye.